is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Minnesota.
Today from Target Field, the Kansas City Royals wrap up a 5-game road trip. The Twins conclude a 5-game homestand with a chance to make it a winning homestand thanks to Danny Valencia, one of the heroes last night as the Twins got their first walk-off win at Target Field this year. And we're at Target Field. Decent weather today for the homestand finale. Hall of Famer Burt Blyleven along with Dick Bramer. The Kansas City Royals had 4 straight games where they won a ball game at home in their last at bat. And the Twins so far in this homestand have had 2 of those.
Well, it's the Twins' turn last night. The Minnesota Twins in the 10th inning with 1 out. It was Dalman Young that got the ball rolling for the Twins against Robinson Tejeda, taking the ball the other way. And then Michael Kadire, he drew a walk. That put runners at first and second. Jason Kubel came up, and you see by his reaction, this is a 3-run home run. No, instead, Francoeur juggled the ball. Repko pinch running for Young at third base, and there's that hit you were talking about, Dick. Danny Valencia driving in the winning run. Twins win in 10 innings, 4-3.
And so the Twins do have a chance with the win last night to make this a winning homestand. What they would like to see from Francisco Liriano is the pitcher they saw particularly here at Target Field last year.
Yeah, 14-game winner last year, Liriano, and you look at Liriano's first 2 starts on the road, they weren't very good. But here at Target Field last year, 7-5, very good ERA. Look at the walks, only 28 walks in 107 innings pitched. So far, Liriano, too many walks in his first 2 starts. Hopefully he can get that ball over the plate.
Well, the Twins hope to get out of town with a win before they open up an 8-game road trip in St. Petersburg tomorrow night. Michael Kadire with a good ball game last night, 4 hits and a walk. We'll find out more about him when we come back. On Fox Sports North is brought to you by Baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by your local Northland Ford dealers. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer or go to northlandford.com. And by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards.
Twins today try to earn their first series sweep of the season, the second of a 2-game set against the Kansas City Royals here on Fox Sports North. Thanks for joining us. I'm Robbie Ismakowski. Last night was a big night for Twins right fielder Michael Kadire. He went 4 for 4, went into the ballgame with 3 hits and a batting average of 107. He had 4 hits last night. Today, he wakes up batting 219. Kadire today gets to start at second base for the Minnesota Twins. Kadire also picked up a second job this summer with us at Fox Sports North as a contributor. You can check out his column right now exclusively at foxsportsnorth.com. Today, his column is about injuries and how teams deal with them.
There's one thing that's a constant in Major League Baseball, and that's somebody is going to get hurt. Usually more than one person is going to get hurt. And those teams that can overcome those injuries and those difficulties are usually the teams that are playing meaningful games in September and October. And that's kind of what I write about, how we've been able to overcome over the years as the Minnesota Twins, how we've been able to overcome those injuries.
When we come back on Fox Sports North, it's Frankie Lights Out Liriano. It's Dick. It's Bert. It's First Pitch next on Fox Sports North.
Kadire coming out of the dugout, and a shorter trot out of the dugout to second base, not to right field. Michael, I suppose there's some suspense here among the fans. They know Kadire is going to play. They watch him come out of the dugout. They don't know where he's going to go. There's Ned Yost. First full season as Royals manager after replacing Trey Hillman last year. Here's his Menards batting order. Chris Getz leading off. Melky Cabrera hitting second. Alex Gordon third. Billy Butler fourth. Jeff Francoeur, Wilson Betemit, Mike Aviles, Matt Trainer, and Alcides Escobar.
Let's take a look at the scouting report on Francisco Liriano, making his 3rd start of the year. His first here at Target Field. He just needs to realize that he's got defensive players behind him. He can't strike out everybody. And what he needs to do is try to get quick outs. Challenge the strike zone, get some quick outs so he can go deeper into a ball game.
Ball and a strike. Coming into the game, Liriano this year has thrown 187 pitches and only 97 strikes. Just about a 50-50 split. There's a little nubber, and Liriano has an easy play for the first out. Easy for me to say. Brian Dunsing had a similar play and struggled making it last night. Here's the Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Delman Young in left and Art Spann in center. Jason Kubel in right. With Kadire moving to the infield, joined up the middle by Tolbert, Valencia and Morneau on the corners, and Drew Butera doing the catching.
You know, Dick, we had that one spring training game where Liriano threw 76 pitches in 3 innings. Even though he had 9 strikeouts, that's not what Rick Anderson wants out of Liriano. He wants him to get deeper into the ball games. How do you do that? By attacking early. Trust your fastball especially. And Drew Butera's got that chore today to basically sit down the middle of the plate and let your fastball get you some quick outs.
Falling behind Cabrera, 2-0. And a bouncer to Tolbert at short. High throw, and another infield error for the Twins, and Cabrera will go to second base. Tolbert got in front of it, threw high to Morneau. And this infield defense for the Twins has been very spotty so far this year.
Tolbert, you know, that's the first error. You know, he's right there. He just see the ball just kind of floating over the head of Morneau into the camera. Well, watch out, Roy Smalley's. Roy Smalley right down there. But for the Twins, that's their 9th error of the year.
8 of the 9 errors to infielders, counting Dunsing as an infielder. He committed a throwing error last night. Here's Alex Gordon with a runner at second and 1 away. Breaking ball over for strike 1.
You know, as a pitcher, I look at it when somebody made an error behind me. It challenged me to pick them up because they make so many great plays behind me. Now it's up to Liriano to pick up Tolbert.
Pop foul and out of play. Gordon had a great spring training. He's carried it over into the opening weeks of the regular season. 7-game hitting streak.
3 for 11 lifetime against Francisco Liriano.
Two strikes for the Royal left fielder. And another foul.
See, Liriano's a strikeout pitcher. He's averaged over a strikeout per inning in his young career. But when you get 2 strikes, okay, strike him out. It's a matter of how do you get there. Do you get there by throwing a 3-2 count, you know, all the time? What Liriano needs to do, get strike 1, strike 2, get the strikeout. But when you're behind, make him make contact.
Down and in with a fastball, 1-2. Gordon told early on in spring training that he was going to be the 3rd place hitter for the Royals. And he swung the bat like a number 3 hitter. Bounce toward first. That's a fair ball. Morneau with the pickup, and Liriano to the bag, out number 2. And Cabrera rounds third base with Liriano squaring toward home plate right after he receives the throw.
Yeah, Ed Rapiano, the crew chief here, he's at first base. That's one of those balls, Dick, that looks like it went over the bag, but even though it hit in foul territory, Liriano and Gordon made contact right there, but the runner, Cabrera, stops at third.
That was a foul ball.
Yes, it was from that angle. But the Twins will take it. It's an out.
Cabrera at third, and here's Billy Butler. Butler, like Gordon, swinging the bat well coming out of spring training. Not so much last night, 0 for 4. Twins got him in a couple of key spots late in the game. Ball 1.
Butler 3 for 18 lifetime against Liriano, just a 167 hitter. He does have a home run.
Swing and a miss.
Good off-speed pitch right there. Liriano has 3 great pitches. A fastball, a lot of movement, hard slider, and then you just saw the circle changeup.
One and one. And now 2-1.
Billy Butler, just 24 years old already in his 5th season at the major league level, all with the Royals. Last year hit .318 for the Royals.
That's up the middle. Kadire sets and fires to end the inning. An error does no damage.
Yep.
As the Royals strand Cabrera into third. Exception. The weather come game time has been better at Target Field than the forecast weather come game time. And we were expecting the possibility of some lingering showers. Not the case. Here's the Menards batting order for the Twins in the homestand finale. Denard Span followed by Matt Tolbert, Jason Kubel, Justin Morneau, Delman Young, Jim Thome, Joe Mauer getting the day off, Michael Kadire, Danny Valencia, and Drew Butera.
And on the mound for the Kansas City Royals is Kyle Davies making his 3rd start. Control has been an issue for Davies so far on the year. 7 walks in 9 innings pitched. So both the starters here this afternoon have had a tough time early on throwing strikes. And I feel that the starting rotation, and Davies is one of those starters, is a key to the Kansas City Royals' success this year. Offensively, they're a pretty good ball club, but they need to have consistent starting pitching, and Davies is one of those guys they're looking for more consistency out of.
Down low, 1-1. Well, in his last start, he had a miserable first inning with his control and some other things. A 40-pitch first inning. This is punched to left.
Get down.
And it'll die in left field, and Span has a leadoff single. Northland Ford defense for the Kansas City Royals. Alex Gordon in left, Melky Cabrera in center, Jeff Francoeur in right. Aviles at third, Escobar at short, Jensen Butler on the right side of the infield, and Matt Traynor doing the catching.
Yeah, Davies in his last start against the Tigers came in Detroit. 5 walks in 3 2/3 innings. Allowed 5 runs.
Twins have not done much running. A lot of their speed went out of the lineup when Nishioka went out with his broken leg. But a chance for the Twins here with a leadoff single for the first time this year in the first inning. Span is aboard to start the ball game. And a chance for him perhaps to do some running. Twins have 2 stolen bases. The Royals have 15.
Yeah, Span has good speed. 26 stolen bases, a career high last year in 30 attempts.
Up and away, ball 1.
And Davies, a pitcher, uses the slide step toward home plate. That means he doesn't bring that left knee up, and may give Span, if he does take off, 1 extra step toward second.
That's driven toward the gap. Span will round second and gain third base. Tolbert's going to dig for 2. And he's in. Span's going to come home with the first run of the game. The ball kicked off the glove of Getz, and Span alertly waved home by Steve Little. And the Twins, for the first time this year, have a first inning run.
Just going to say that. Tolbert going the other way with the pitch and lining it into left center. Melky Cabrera has to go get it. And by the time he got it in, he short top Chris Getz at second base. The quick tag, but instead the ball got away. And a double for Tolbert and an error by Cabrera, allowing Span to score.
And now Kubel with Tolbert at second and nobody out. Down and in, ball one. Span chips a base hit into left field and runs around on the Tolbert double and the error. The error charged to Cabrera. Well, it looked to me like that throw might have gotten to Getz on the fly. And now 2-0. When I first looked at it, I thought it had one-hopped him, but then maybe on replay, Getz going to come off the bag maybe to catch that ball. At any rate, 2-0 to Kubel. This one to right center field. Francoeur has it land at his feet, and Kubel drops a single, sending Tolbert to third base. Davies struggled with his control in his last start. Here in the first inning, the Twins start with 3 straight hits.
Gotta like that if you're a Twins fan. Something that they have been lacking the first 10 games of the season is first inning offensive type of damage. And Kubel, Francoeur going over and getting it on that short hop. Tolbert had to hang around second base, and he makes it over to third. So 3 straight hits start this ball game off for the Twins in the bottom of the first.
First and third, nobody out. Morneau at the plate. Morneau with a 3-hit game on Sunday, getting the batting average up over 200. And then a hitless game last night.
Davies has a fastball in the low 90s, a changeup, curveball, and a slider. In his 5th season with the Royals, also came up with the Braves back in 2005.
Big swing at the fastball and a foul to the screen.
Twins have had some pretty good success against Davies over his career as a Royal against the Twins. 11 career starts, 4 wins, 6 losses, an ERA at 5.73.
Guy at the plate struggled against him. Just 2 hits and 19 at bats against Davies. High and tight, 1-2. And now wide of the plate, 2-2.
Yeah, that curveball just missing away. Cool day, pitchers allowed to blow on their hands.
Announcers are too, right? I mean, we can blow into our hands if we'd like.
If you want, go ahead.
2-2. You know, the Royals, a lot's been made of how they've remade their bullpen. They've kind of also remade their rotation. Instead of running the same guys out there, they've Morneau with a little pop fly to short left, and Tolbert retreats to the third base bag with the shortstop Escobar, or excuse me, the third baseman Aviles retreating. The Royals had the shift on, one away.
Yeah, had to shift on a little bit. Aviles was playing towards short, and he went back, and it's Davies, the pitcher, that has to go over to third base because the shortstop is over at second base. See the ball right there, Justin, right off the end of the bat as the bat shatters in Justin's hands. And it's the first out of the inning.
Delman Young will hit. Inside, ball one. You know, the Royals for years, it seemed like they would have kind of the same guys coming back. Brian Bannister and Gil Mesh and injuries. Zach Greinke, of course, who was traded. This one lifted to short right field. Frank Coors got a great arm. There's the catch. Tolbert isn't going to challenge it. So a short fly ball off the bat of Young. And Tolbert still anchored at third base.
A little 2-out hitting right here. Frank Coors, very good arm. 83 outfield assists. The most in baseball since 2005.
He got one last night. He doubled Joe Mauer off of first base. Here's Jim Thome, who delivered a pinch hit single in the ball game last night. Well, the Royals this year with a different looking rotation of Bruce Chen. Davies has been there for a few years, but Jeff Francis and Luke Hochevar, their opening day starter. Jeff Suppan, the former Royal, was signed to a minor league deal. Up and in, ball one. Thome a couple games ago hit one of the longest, if not the longest, home run hit here at Target Field. On the outside corner, 1-1.
Yeah, right now the Royals early on, because of off days, they've been going with a 4-man starting staff. 8 guys out on that bullpen.
Just off the plate, just missed the same spot he delivered the second pitch to, and it's 2-1. Whoa, oh my.
Watch out.
Over the shoulder of Michael Kadire, and I hope it didn't hit anybody in the Twins dugout.
I think Ron Gardenhire was trying to get out of the way. Went right into that little opening. See the changeup right there. Oh, that's a bat fly.
It broke his bat. Remember last night, Kadire had a line drive sail right in front of his cheek. So life in the on-deck circle been interesting here in this Kansas City series for Kadire.
You know, they're so close to home plate.
Just off the inside corner.
Boy, Davies thought he had that.
And here's what happened last night with Kadire in the on-deck circle and Delman Young at the plate.
Look at Michael. He didn't see that ball till it was by him.
Full count. Kubel takes off from first, and it's ball 4. So Kadire survived the on-deck circle and now comes to the plate with the bases loaded. Twins baseball brought to you in Sony High Definition.
Well, 10th time in his career, he had a 4-hit night last night, Michael Kadire, and a walk. So he reached base all 5 times.
Kadire telling everyone who would listen yesterday before the game, it's still early. It's still early. We have 153 games to go. Then he went out and backed it up by more than doubling his batting average. Started at 107, and by game's end, his average was 219.
Kadire with 7 hits on the year, all singles. This would be a great time for a first extra base hit.
1-0 to Kadire. And a breaking ball that clips the outside corner.
Yeah, curveball missing for ball 1. Came back with another breaking ball.
Pop foul and out of play. 1-2.
2 curveballs away, and then the fastball in, and Kadire fouled off. Davies thrown 25 pitches so far here in the first inning.
Kadire, the 7th man to bat. Twins to this point have just 1 run. 2-2.
Everybody clap your hands.
Twins need a knockout punch right here.
Bases full of Twins. And now the count is full. And this is what the Royals saw from Davies in the first inning of his last start, just the inability to throw enough strikes.
I watched him on that last pitch after he released. Looked like a slider. He kind of put his arm around, like circled his arm around, like maybe that shoulder's bothering him a little bit.
All the runners will go here. Full count with 2 away. And a called third strike. He clipped the outside corner, and the Twins get 1 but leave 3 in the first. Is brought to you by Pentair. The Twins have a lead after the first inning. It's 1-0. First inning run of the season. And Kyle Davies did a nice job keeping him to 1 run, striking out Kadire to leave the bases full. And now Jeff Francoeur on the first pitch lifts it foul and out of play.
Well, Francisco Liriano, one thing I noticed, remember, Dick, he always worked off of this side of the pitching rubber with the right-hander up. But right now, that first inning, also this inning, he has basically stayed in the same spot. So Rick Anderson, I know, has been working with Liriano on not going from left to right on the pitching rubber. Find a place that's comfortable and then pretty much throw that ball down the heart of the plate if you can. So a lot of work with Anderson and Liriano trying to find that groove of throwing consistent strikes. And that just what this does right here, it just gets him more centered to home plate. So basically he's going to try to pick up Butera. Butera's not going to move much. Make him throw the ball over the plate.
Off the knuckles and out of play.
Only because Liriano's that type of pitcher that his ball is moving all over the place. He's not like a Brad Ratke or a Carl Pavano that can hit his spots down and away. He's just going to try to throw and throw hard.
Left the slider up high. Now it's a full count.
Liriano's averaged 3.2 walks per 9 innings over his career.
And that's been one of the problems with 8 walks in 10 and a third inning.
There you go. Make him swing the bat.
Short center field, and Span has a long run, but he's there, 1 away.
Boy, Smalley, I like what Liriano's doing so far.
Yeah, I do too, Bert. And, we've talked so much about how important it is for Francisco to throw the ball over the plate, to throw a lot of strikes. But I'm going to tell you, from a hitter's standpoint, he has to be able to command the fastball first and foremost. He's doing a pretty good job of it so far today. But what does command mean? It means throw the ball over when you have to. Hit corners. If you want to throw it in, throw it in. If you want to throw it out, throw it out. Because from a hitter's standpoint, if he's throwing that fastball over, then you become vulnerable to slider and changeup. If he's not throwing it over, hitters become more patient and they won't swing at those nasty sliders that are his strikeout pitch, and that's what gets him in trouble, gets him behind in counts. So as we go on and watch him today, if he's throwing fastballs for strikes most of the time, he's going to have a good outing because it makes everything else better.
Just like that right there. And Roy, you know what? This is not an 85, 86 mile an hour fastball. This is a 90, 91 mile an hour fastball that does have some movement on it.
Absolutely right, Bert, and you're right to talk about him just going for the middle of the plate and let the natural movement take over. The other thing is when a guy's throwing 91, 92, occasionally up as high as 94 sometimes with Frankie, you know, a hitter gets a little anxious, and you've got to get the bat head out and get it going in a hurry if a guy's throwing that hard, and that's what makes you vulnerable to the softer stuff and the slider.
And that sets up the slider right
exactly,
there.
Right, just like that.
Betamede, who's been swinging a hot bat, did not like that slider at all, and Liriano picks up his first strikes out. So 4 straight fastballs and then a 2-2 slider. And you even see that slider, even though it's got a lot of the plate, it's got that little bit of bite to it right there. So a big strikeout.
2 gone. Here's Mike Aviles struggling, bringing an 0 for 17 string into this at bat, and he takes strike 1. And 2 quick strikes.
Good slider, and the tempo seems to be a lot quicker too for Liriano.
Right down the
There
middle.
you go.
So Aviles throws the bat away and is gone on 3 pitches.
Yeah, he didn't use it. What's he need it for?
Liriano has a 1-2-3 second.
Baseball on Fox Sports North. I'm Robbie Smikowski, hanging outside gate 29 at the Pepsi Max Inflatable. Fans making their way into the ballpark. You can win some Pepsi Max prizes, Dick and Bert, by trying to take the official baseball here and throwing it into the catcher's mitt. I'm going to give it a shot and see if I can do it.
Robbie!
Oh, I missed. Oh, one more quick shot here. See if I can do it. Yeah! Got it, Dick and Bert. I'm the future Hall of Famer, baby.
Atta baby, Robbie.
And the radar gun's at 43 miles per hour.
He hit the target, though.
Got to hit your spots. If you
Yes,
don't have
you
a
do.
fastball, you better hit your spots.
Yep.
Well, here's Danny Valencia, who finished the ball game last night with a base hit to right center field. On a high fly to deep left center. Heading back is Cabrera. Not last night and not today. We thought Jason Kubel ended the ball game with a home run to right center field. People down on the field thought it was headed for the upper deck, and Francoeur could have and maybe should have made the catch, and that ball seemed to die in the game.
They said, the guys out in the bullpen said that ball looked like it was going up into that pavilion area up there, and the ball just drifted back. But, this has been a pitcher's ballpark if you can make them hit it in those gaps. Left center, right center, straightaway center.
And the wind kind of blowing in from left field. And you look over on the protected area, and the flag's fairly limp. 2 strikes to Butera. Davies gave up 3 hits to start his afternoon, and then later added a walk, but got out of the inning with just 1 run allowed. And he goes high and tight. Butera's gone in 3 pitches.
Davies picks up his 2nd strikeout.
Fox Sports North is proud to be your exclusive home for Twins baseball, bringing you 150 games this season. Make sure you don't miss Friday's game against the Rays at 6 o'clock. Log on to foxsportsnorth.com and check if your video provider will be carrying the game. If not, we encourage you to call your video provider and let them know you don't want to miss any more games. 2 gone. Here's Span. This one hit behind third, but it'll be a foul ball. Hit a similar pop-up in fair territory for a leadoff single, and then came around to score. 2 quick outs, and now a quick strike to Denard Span. Strike 2. Fly ball center, harmlessly out toward Cabrera, and a much better 2nd inning for Kyle Davies. On 18 pitches, he sets down the Twins 1-2-3. Minnesota Twins baseball is brought to you by Explore Minnesota. Visit exploreminnesota.com to plan your next Minnesota vacation today. And those are scenes from the Duluth Harbor, the westernmost port on the Atlantic Ocean, Lake Superior, or as Gordon Lightfoot called it, the big lake they call Gitchigumi, the world's largest lake in the port of Duluth. Superior, one of the largest inland seaports in the world. 45 million net tons of cargo go in and out of there. 1-0 to Matt Traynor leading off the Kansas City third. That's lifted to right field. And Kubel retreats, and the wind pushing that back near the warning track. 1 away. And that'll bring up Alcides Escobar. Stung Butera.
Yeah, that hurt right there. That hurt. That hurt because Escobar attempted to bunt, so the first thing that Butera does is get out of his crouch position to maybe try to field it. See him get up right there, and that got a piece of him. Ouch. Drew Butera, the son, of course, Sal Butera, who's here today and this weekend. Excuse me, last couple days to watch Drew play, but also scout for the Toronto Blue Jays.
And a foul ball that'll spin back and out of play. So far, so good for Liriano. We told you in his first 2 starts, almost alternated a strike with a ball through 2 starts, but now a much better split. You like to have that 2-for-1 ratio strikes to balls. He's got 21 strikes and 12 balls.
And a good pitch count so far for Liriano.
And a nice pickup off the mound.
And he threw the ball just like our demo last night, right, Roy Smalley?
Get into our telecast on Fox Sports North and talk baseball. Submit a question online at carsoup.com/baseball. Ann Miller from Marshall down in southwest Minnesota. What Twins pitcher, current Twins pitcher, breaks the most opponents' bats?
Well, you might be seeing him on the mound right here, Liriano, because of the movement on all his pitches. And a quick
6 pitches in a 1-2-3 third. And the Royals have yet to get a hit. Wonderful outing so far across the board. Hasn't given up a hit, and he's had some quick innings. And for a guy who hasn't lasted 5 innings yet in either one of his 2 starts, he's on a real good pace.
Well, he's good tempo today. So far, very good tempo for Liriano.
And now Tolbert, who delivered the biggest hit in the first inning that eventually led to the Twins scoring a run, driving a double to left center field. 1-1, and a towering pop-up. Playable for Getz. 1 away. And it'll bring up Kubel. Welcome back baseball with Pepsi Max. Log on to foxsportsnorth.com. Click on the upcoming events banner and see where you can score a free Twins baseball hat while supplies last at select Cub food stores. 1 down, and Jason Kubel will hit. The hits keep coming for Kubel. A couple last night and a base hit in his first at bat here today. And Davies comes inside and clips the inside corner twice.
Davies settling down nicely after the rough first inning.
1-2.
And that's where you want the curveball right there when you're ahead in the count 0-2. You want to drop that curveball just on the other side of the plate. It's exactly what Davies did.
Two and two. I'm going to rescind my prediction that I made earlier in this homestand that there would be 25% more home runs hit in this ballpark this year. Because if that ball last night didn't go out, I don't think there are going to be more home runs hit this year.
Well, you know what? As the summer gets warmer, a little humidity, I think the balls hopefully will fly out of here.
Coming from you?
For the Twins, of course.
You want to see more home runs?
Yeah, why not? I'm not out there.
The left center field ranging over is Gordon, and that's out number 2. And before Morneau comes to the plate, there's another Rasmussen College game in 2 weeks when the Twins are home against the Rays. Standing room only tickets are half price for students with valid ID. Tickets are available on the day of game only, and they are limited, so make your plans to come out early. For more information about Rasmussen College student days, please visit twinsbaseball.com. Morneau pulls a foul. Morneau hit a little pop up behind third base, and Aviles, who was the only man standing on the left side of the infield, retreated into the outfield grass to make the catch. And that's the case here. More and more teams are shifting this way for Morneau.
Yeah, outfielders play pretty much straight up, but the infield really shifted over. Ooh, good swing right there by Justin. Just fouled it straight back. See Aviles playing right around shortstop. Escobar playing on the second base side.
When you were on the mound and your infield was shifted behind you, didn't you have to pitch into the shift or not?
No, I never really worried about that. You know, there's so many, especially, you know, Jerry White has a book on, you know, where guys hit it, and I'm sure the Kansas City Royals do the same thing. You know, they're going to feed Justin some curveballs. 2 straight fastballs. The first 2 pitches were curveballs.
1-2. On the outside corner. So
slider. Good pitch.
Davies getting sharp here after a rough first inning. He has ended the third inning with a called third strike on Justin Morneau. Is brought to you by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. And by AT&T. Melky Cabrera leading off the Kansas City fourth, and he's just taken ball one from Francisco Liriano. Cabrera, Gordon, and Butler for Kansas City here in the fourth. Two and 0.
Well, Liriano 37 pitches, 23 strikes, no walks in the ball game, a couple strikeouts.
And that's the first Kansas City hit, a sharp single to left for Cabrera. Leadoff man is on, and you can get involved in our broadcast this afternoon. Let us know who you think will be the Arby's Value Player of the Game. Text the word value followed by a space and the player's name to short code 234234. Goodhire gets 4 hits last night, and he gets the early voting. We'll have the results in our postgame show. Here's Alex Gordon. Hit a ground ball near the bag. It was ruled a fair ball. And now this one hit up the middle and into center field. So in back-to-back pitches, back-to-back hits, and the Royals have the tying run at third.
Kind of a cue ball right there, right off the end of the bat, right back up the middle. Tober tried to knock it down, and Cabrera really hustling from first to third. You see that ball over the head of Liriano. Runners at the corners, nobody out.
The thing that has exasperated Rick Anderson and Ron Gardenhire when Liriano's pitched this year, situations like this, where when in a jam he tries to apparently overthrow things and strike everybody out, and that's where the ugliness really begins. We'll see how this situation plays out. Butler with a bouncer to second his first time up. Swing and a miss.
Good changeup right there, good location, down and away.
Twins playing back for the double play grounder. And Butler last year accommodated a lot of situations like this. Has yet to hit into a ground ball double play this year. 2 strikes.
Now you go for the strikeout right here. And again, Liriano over his career has averaged just over 1 strikeout per inning pitched. See if he goes to that slider down and in. 32 double plays he hit into last year, most in Major League Baseball.
One and two.
Tried to overpower that fastball.
And the 3rd straight hit for the Royals, and they've tied the game on 3 singles. So he got ahead of him 0-2, and then on 1-2, it looked like he jammed Butler, but he simply muscled it into left field.
Yeah, he's strong right there. Butler getting that ball middle in and just pushing it past Tolbert at short. So he got the barrel of the bat out quickly. So Butler picks up an RBI, his 6th of the year, on the 3rd straight single for the Royals.
And now Francoeur with runners at first and second, nobody out. Off the outside corner, ball 1. Rocket into center field. Gordon around third. He's coming home. And it is 2-1 Kansas City. And the 4th inning starts with at least 4 straight hits.
Yeah, they're teeing off on Liriano right now. That ball was down, and Francoeur just went down and hit that ball sharply right back up the middle. Watch out. So a couple times this inning already, balls right through the middle. Francoeur picks up his 7th RBI, and the Royals take a 2-1 lead.
Last night, Brian Dunsing eventually was taken out of the game because a liner right up the middle hit him in the leg. And a quick trip to the mound from the Twins pitching coach. So no hits through 3 innings. And now 4 straight hits without an out.
On only 9 pitches. Liriano tagging the strike zone. That wasn't a bad pitch to Francoeur right there. Sometimes you have to tip your hat to an offensive player because he had a pretty good pitch. Butler fought off that fastball up and in.
Here's Bet-A-Meat, went down swinging his first time up. And he flips it foul. Bet-A-Meat played third base last night, filling the DH spot in this afternoon's game, and another base hit. 5 in a row for the Royals. Butler will be held at third. And the Royals leading 2-1 with a chance here in the fourth to break the game wide open.
Well, sometimes you make good pitches and hitters hit good pitches. Not a bad pitch. Look at that little pitch right there, low and away, but Bet-A-Meat just goes down and hits that ball into left field. So this inning, I mean, he's made some pretty good pitches, but the offense for the Royals have hit the ball pretty well.
Mike Aviles struck out looking on 3 pitches his first time up. He's now hitless in his last 18 at bats. And he nearly rifled a double down the line. He nearly undressed Billy Butler.
Well, they're very comfortable right now. They're just swinging. They're just up there just hacking.
And 2 strikes. Kevin Seitzer, pitching or hitting coach for the Royals, trying to get Aviles squared away.
You see a little pattern going on. Liriano throwing strikes.
That's past Valencia and down the line. It'll score 2 more. It'll be a double for Aviles, who got it just under Valencia's glove, and it's 4-1 Kansas City.
Valencia playing even with the bag. That ball somehow found a way to get underneath his glove. A 2-run double for Mike Aviles. He picks up RBI number 4 and 5 on the year.
Still nobody out. 6 straight hits here in the fourth. Matt Trainer hit a fly ball to right his first time up. Liriano misses ball 1. Activity in the Twins pen, and this is for different reasons. This is what the Twins have seen from Liriano. He seemed locked in through 3 innings, and then sometimes the control betrays him. Here he's just been lit up. Tapped foul. 1-1. Six straight hits, and so far 4 runs. Valencia looks the runner and throws to first. So finally an out. And Valencia, who couldn't quite make the play going to his right, makes a fine one going to his left.
Yeah, nice play right there by Danny Valencia, getting that first out of the inning. Runners could not advance. Going to his left, picking up the runner at third, that being Bet-A-Meat. Gets the out at first.
Here's Alcides Escobar. Hit a comebacker to the mound his first time up. Twins bring the infield in now, and a big swing and a miss. The Royals much more aggressive here in this fourth inning, swinging earlier in the count.
Hey, 11 Royals will put the ball into play in the first 3 pitches so far in this ballgame off of Liriano. So, yeah, they're up there swinging.
Punch to right, and that's going to be trouble. It'll score 1. And for the Royals, the 7th hit of this fourth inning. Still only one out.
Again, not a bad pitch. I mean, this ball's down in the strike zone, and Escobar kind of like a little golf shot into right field with the infield drawn in. Ball down and away, some good movement. He just softly hit this ball into right field with Kadire playing in. And Escobar picking up an RBI, his 5th. Roy Smalley, it just looks like, their attack is just swing early and hopefully hit it hard somewhere.
Yeah, I think so, Bert, and Frankie's been a little bit unlucky, but he also, I think the pitch selection has been a little funny. He has beaten a lot of guys early with fastballs, and they've gotten hits on breaking balls, and I'm a little bit surprised he beat Betamit his first time up with fastballs. He beat Avilas with fastballs. Betamit got a slider to hit. Avila got a changeup that he killed down left field line, just foul. Got beat on a fastball that he fouled back, and then got a slider to hit. So I really think sometimes you have to pay attention to, you can't just sit there and pump fastballs. But on the other hand, if you're beating a guy on fastballs, you don't want to speed up his bat with something slow. He's got to prove that he can hit it. And sometimes I think Frankie's had a little bit of bad luck and a little bit of some pitch selection could have been reconsidered.
Well, we've shown some of the pitches back, and they haven't been bad pitches. It's just sometimes you go out there and the hitters, you have to. I hate to say this, you have to give the hitters credit. They'll be picked off.
Chance for a pickoff. Got him. Morneau with a good throw. Last night we saw Billy Butler, the Kansas City first baseman, deliver an errant throw to second, and this one by Morneau right on the money.
Well, Escobar going on first movement, and a good throw to Tolbert, a quick tag for the second out.
And now a bouncer, Kadire with a nice pickup, fires to first, and Morneau can't hang on to the low throw, and the Royals will get another run. A good pickup by Kadire, but Morneau with the stretch couldn't gather in the throw.
Well, they give Chris Getz an infield base hit, and he'll pick up an RBI, and the Royals have put a 6th spot on the board in the top of the 4th inning off of Liriano. Good stop by Kadire, and then trying to hurry his throw because Getz gets down that line pretty quick. And the throw pulls Justin off the bag.
Man who started it all, Melky Cabrera. And you look at this inning, and Liriano's only retired one man. That was Trainer, and Valencia had to turn in a good play to retire him. The Royals didn't have a hit before this inning. Now they've got 8 hits and 6 runs.
Worst part, it just messes up my scorebook.
1-1 to Cabrera. Pitch left up and foul to the net.
Oh, watch Kadire right there. He dives to his right, comes up, and then the throw up the line, and Justin almost held on to it as it trickled out of his glove.
There's the end to an awful inning for Liriano. Sailing into the 4th. The Royals tee off and score 6. What in the world happened out there? He was locked in, sailing through 3, and then all of that happened in the 4th.
I'll tell you, Dick, sometimes you go out there and you make good pitches, but, you have to tip your hat to the Kansas City Royals. Their game plan that inning was look for something early and swing hard, and they did.
Delvin Young leading off the 4th.
Hey, you have a no-hitter going into an inning, into a 4th inning. You come out of it, and you're down by 5, and you've given up 8 hits. And you go, whoa, what happened?
Now Davies, who really struggled in the 1st inning but got out of it with just 1 run allowed. Now pitching with a 5-run lead. Young, Thome, and Kadire trying to get some back for the Twins.
Well, Davies has retired 7 straight Twin batters.
Off the knuckles and doink behind first.
Yeah, maybe it's our turn now.
There's a fair ball, and Young got it off the handle of the bat, it looked like, and dropped a double down the right field line.
Well, the Royals, they hit some balls that were pretty good pitches. And right there, Delvin Young fighting off a pitch and hitting it the other way for his 2nd double of the year. And it's a leadoff double here in the bottom of the 4th.
And that'll bring up Jim Thome. Thome worked out a walk to fill the bases in the 1st inning, but then the Twins left them full. Down and in, ball 1. So as we said at the top of this inning, the problem with Liriano has been damage control and pitching out of jams this year, and he did not succeed in that in the top of the inning. We'll see how Davies handles this leadoff double off the bat of Delvin Young. Little tapper, and Young has no place to go, and Thome's thrown out at first. On a check swing, Thome is retired, 1 away. That'll bring up Michael Kadire. AT&T trivia question for the 3 Royals to win the Cy Young Award. I can think of 2 right-handers.
Mr. Saberhagen, Mr. Greinke.
And I think a 3rd right-hander. 1-0 to Kadire. Called out with the bases full in the 1st inning. And that misses the inside corner, 2-0. And you were talking about the Twins perhaps delivering a knockout punch in the 1st inning. And Davies made sure that didn't happen. He threw maybe his best pitches in the whole inning to Kadire with the inning and the game on the line.
Well, the 3-2 fastball that just clipped the down and away was a nasty pitch.
Fly to right, Francoeur with the catch, and so there sits Delvin Young still at 2nd base after his leadoff double, now with 2 out. And Valencia coming to the plate. Fox Sports North is proud to be your exclusive home for Twins baseball, bringing you 150 games this season. Make sure you don't miss Friday's game against the Rays. It starts at 6 o'clock. Log on to foxsportsnorth.com and check if your video provider will be carrying the game. If not, we encourage you to call your video provider and let them know you don't want to miss any more Twins games. Well, the Twins get a boost with a leadoff double, but now 2 outs later, it's up to Valencia to turn it into a run. And to right field, hit right at Francoeur. And Davies pitches around the leadoff double. And on 10 pitches, he gets out of the 4th and has a 5-run lead. We're at Target Field. Sun trying to break through here. Along with Hall of Famer Burt Blyleven, Robbie Ince-Mikowski, Roy Smalley, I'm Dick Bramer. The Royals breaking through big time. 8 hits, 6 runs in the 4th. And Liriano sailing into the 4th. Finally got the last out. 10 men batted, and Alex Gordon will lead off the 5th.
Yeah, we're going to have to get Roy Smalley a glove down there. A lot of balls have been going his way here this afternoon.
2 quick strikes to Gordon. Not much in the way of consolation for Liriano, but he has thrown just 64 pitches. And a bouncer to short. Tolbert has it. And now Morneau has it. 1 away. And it'll bring up Billy Butler.
You see Kevin Seitzer right there talking about hitting with Matt Trainer, the catcher. I'll tell you what, whatever their game plan was last inning, it worked. 8 hits, 6 runs for the Royals.
Butler got one of the hits. Drove in one of the runs, scored one of the runs. Ground ball this time to Valencia. 2 down. And this is what we saw in the first 3 innings. Liriano pitching more to contact and doing so successfully. Just the contact in the 4th inning was pretty successful for the Royals.
But you know what, Dick? One thing, those balls weren't like right there. You know, they had some pretty good pitches.
You can collect on the Fan Zone tab on the FoxSportsNorth.com homepage and win a lot of prizes in the Fan Zone. You can join. It's fast. It's free. It's all at the Fan Zone tab on FoxSportsNorth.com. 1-0 to Jeff Francoeur. And now 1-1. Two and 1. And now 2 and 2.
I noticed Liriano went back over to the third base side of that pitching rubber again. At the beginning of the ball game, we talked about Liriano working off the first base side, pretty much the middle part of the rubber, but now he's moved back over.
And he strikes out Francoeur to end the 5th. A better 5th with the Royals going down 1-2-3.
In the Minnesota State Lottery winner's circle, and I got $100 in Minnesota State Lottery tickets for Ed here, Bert. This is not his daughter. This is his buddy's kid. She made the sign, but Dad's in the bathroom right now, so we're going to have all his friends text him and call him and say, hey, you went to the restroom while you got circled by Bert and his lovely daughter, Alicia. How about that? Talk about bad timing, huh?
Gotta go, you gotta go. You are hereby circled in the bathroom.
2-0 now to the number 9 batter. Drew Butera leading things off in the 5th. Be followed by Span and Tolbert. At 3-0. Butera squaring to bunt, just trying to distract the pitcher. The pitchers are so strong mentally, aren't they, that they'd never be distracted by that. Right?
Not even going there.
3-1. Foul back, and it's a full count. Well, the Twins need base runners. They need to chip away at this Kansas City lead. They got a leadoff double in the 4th, but never moved Young from second base. Foul back, another one out of play. Popped up. This is a fair ball, and gets. Hardly has to move. One down.
Well, Davies fell behind and just challenged Butera right there, and Butera popped it up.
Span will hit. Singleton scored in the first inning. And the pitch is up. Ball 1. Turned into a beautiful afternoon here in Minneapolis. Royals trying to get out of town with a split. And now Davies falls behind Span, 2-0.
2 straight changeups right there to Denard Span.
Will skip into center field after hitting Davies in the shoe. So Span gets his second hit. The Twins have a base runner with 1 out.
Yeah, 2 changeups, and then with a 5-run lead, you're going to challenge Denard Span. You don't want to walk him, so he gets a fastball. Span ready for it, right through the wickets of David into right center field. Span gets his second hit and the 5th hit for the Twins.
And now Tolbert lined a double to left center field in the first inning. Popped to second, leading off the 3rd. Span has yet to steal a base, has yet to try a base. And Tolbert gets his second hit, a sharp liner to left. So runners now first and second with 1 away. And Roy Smalley, Kyle Davies is out there pitching with a comfortable lead and feeding the Twins fastballs.
Yeah, he's throwing the ball down the middle here a little bit, which he needs to do with a big lead. But guys, we've seen him pitch a lot against the Twins, and the Twins have success against him. And basically, it's been because he's been behind, and when he tries to hit the corners, he misses and falls behind guys. Has to come in there today. He has been a little bit of a different guy. He's mixed in a good changeup. He throws his curveball to show it to him, but when he throws a fastball, he's pretty much been away from the middle of the plate. He's made some great pitches on the corners. We're not used to seeing those pitches on the corners from Kyle Davies.
What problem for Davies that he's had, Roy, against the Twins is like this. It'll come in spurts.
Liner to left center. Kubel with a single. Span scoring, and Tolbert scampers to third. So now the Twins with a string of 3 straight hits, trying to jump back into the ballgame.
You know, you're not 4-6 over your career against a ball club with an ERA at almost 6 without big innings scored, kind of what the Royals did against Liriano. Fastball, not a lot of movement. Good piece of hitting by Kubel. He picks up an RBI, his second of the year on his second hit.
Here's Morneau 0 for 2. Trainer gives some signs from behind the plate. To the right field corner and deep. Off the warning track. Tolbert will score. Kubel will be held. Morneau to second with an RBI double. And now the Twins, who saw the Royals strike for 6 runs on 6 straight hits, start a streak of their own with 4 straight.
Well, Justin, who hadn't really figured Davies out, he came into this ball game just a couple hits and 19 at bats, but he jumps on that first pitch, and it's that pitch that struck him out in his last at bat in the 3rd inning. The little slider down and away. This time he hooks the ball into the corner. A double for Justin, his 4th of the year, driving in his 3rd run. So the Twins getting back into this ball game, just down by 3 with a couple of runners on at 2nd and 3rd.
While the Royals have a conference on the mound, Morneau comes over to third base coach Steve Little to check on something.
Bob McClure, in his 6th season as pitching coach for the Royals, comes out and tries to settle down his right-hander. Now remember, this is the pitch that Justin complained about in his last at-bat, that it was a ball outside, so he goes out and wraps it into the right field corner.
Twins can tie it up with 1 swing of the bat. Nice block by Trainer. Well, speaking of Trainer, the Royals acquired him with just 2 days left in spring training. That has got to be a tremendous challenge for a catcher to try to get to know a pitching staff as quickly as he's been asked to do that.
Yeah, Trainer, 35 years old, is with the Texas Rangers, and then they purchased his contract to become a Kansas City Royal.
1-0 to Delman Young. High fastball evens the count.
High fastball, Delman. He threw that ball right by him.
1-1 to Young. Infield back. They'll concede a run on a ground ball. That one will squirt through. That might score 2. They're going to wave Morneau through. Frank Coors' throw to the plate is not in time. It's a 6-5 game. And now Young overrounded the bag but got back safely. 5 straight hits and suddenly a 1-run game.
Yeah, the inside-out swing right there by Delman Young. Chris Getz, the second baseman, shading him a little bit up the middle, so it left that hole there. Delman Young shoots this ball the other way through that hole. Now Steve Little had came down that line, the third base coach, a long way before he saw Frank Coors come up. He makes a good, strong throw home, but Justin sliding in safely. Delman Young kind of in no man's land and able to get back to first.
And now Tomey, who has walked and on a check swing dribbled one back to Davies. Big swing and a miss.
See, these are the innings that have hurt Davies over his career against the Twins. These type of innings where the opponent able to put up a 4 or 5 spot.
Inside, 1-1. And in the 4th inning, he did such a good job of pitching around the leadoff double. And now he's having the same problem in the 5th that Liriano had in the 4th.
Well, he worked out of that 1st inning. He struck out Kadire with bases loaded, but it's a different inning here in the 5th.
1-1 to Tomey. Breaking ball missing low. Now the Royals activate the bullpen. This will be pitch number 80 for Kyle Davies. 1-2. Excuse me, 2-2.
That looked like he pulled the string at 84 and told me a little early.
Four singles and a double in succession have gotten the Twins to within one. On the outside corner. As ragged as his outing has been here today, Tomey stops to chat with Ed Hickok. He's made some awfully big pitches in some key spots.
Well, almost deja vu of Justin Morneau complaining about where the pitch was when he struck out in the third inning. Tomey can't believe it. And Tomey, this guy has excellent eyes. He knows the strike zone. That ball's probably outside.
Here's Kadair 0 for 2. Young just falls over on the base. Didn't have a big lead at all. And another base hit. Young to second. He'll hold up there. So Kadair gets the 6th Twins hit of the inning. And that'll bring up Valencia. The season ticket limit of 25,000 has been reached for the 2nd straight year, but you can step into the on-deck circle and get exclusive benefits. Call 800-33-TWINS right now. You can talk to a representative and get all the important details. You can also learn about the on-deck circle at twinsbaseball.com. He drove in the game-winning run last night. And now Valencia hopes to get a base hit to tie it up in the 5th. Breaking ball over, strike one.
Yeah, good curveball right there. Had Danny kind of moving out of the box.
Up and away. Through the first 10 games, Twins have not had their share of clutch 2-out hits. Valencia trying to deliver one here in the 5th inning. Inside, and it's 2-1. Valencia, the 9th man to bat here in the 5th. Just what the Twins needed, a long inning. And so far has produced 4 runs. Three and 1 with Butera on deck.
Davies has put himself into that fastball situation, and let's see if Danny can get it and hit it sharply somewhere. Or does he pull the string?
Fouled back, and it's a full count. The runners will leave their bases early here now with the count 3-2.
He got the fastball, just got underneath it, fouled it straight back. You freeze him right here if you get that curveball over like he did on the first pitch.
Lifted to right field, hit right at Francoeur. 9 men bat. 6 get hits and 4 of them score. It's a 1-run game.
cooling systems forecast for tomorrow's Twins at Rays games. Expecting beautiful conditions outside of Tropicana Field. Lots of sunshine. First pitch temperature 80 degrees with winds out of the northwest.
And we'll be inside, so it doesn't really matter what the weather is in St. Petersburg. Wilson Betemit will lead off the 6th inning. He'll be followed by Mike Aviles and Matt Trainer. Royals head home for an 8-game homestand. The Twins hit the road for 8, 4 in St. Petersburg and 4 in Baltimore. (3-0). Now the Twins have just gotten Liriano back in the game, and last thing he wants to do is issue his first walk.
He had a good 5th inning, a 1-2-3 inning. Liriano, this will be pitch number 75, and it's a strike. You can let an inning get away from you. Glenn Perkins starting to warm up in the bullpen, but then after that you say, okay, you know what? It is what it is. Now continue to put some zeros on the board. Liriano 1-2-3 5th. Twins scored him 4 runs. Now he's only down a run.
Come back to fill the count with Betemit. Popped up. Warno over for a look, but it's out of play. Betemit DHing. Hila Kahui been benched both last night and today. He's struggling a little bit against lefties right now. Little bit high, and Betemit draws Liriano's first walk of the ball game.
Yeah, first walk for Liriano, and not a bad pitch, but in that 4th inning after the first 2 runners got on, not bad pitches. Butler fastball in, then ball down in the strike zone. Another pitch away. See the location, not bad pitches, and sometimes you have to credit the offense. They hit some pretty good pitches. Escobar right there, that was a good piece of hitting.
You're right. You see those in sequence like that, and you realize, boy, if you can't throw them there, where's he supposed to throw them? Pitching change here, replacing one left-hander with another.
Well, Glenn Perkins making his 5th relief appearance. He's worked 4 innings so far, a couple strikeouts with a walk. Yeah, Liriano threw 78 pitches, 53 for strikes. He just had that one bad inning, and that one bad inning can leave a ball game with a 1-run deficit. But hey, Twins are back in this ball game.
Aviles at the plate. He doubled in a couple of runs over the third base bag, and he takes up and away ball 1 from Perkins. The hit by Aviles broke an 0 for 18 string. and was maybe the most damaging hit in the 6-run inning. Driven to right center. Span hustling to the gap. Can't get there. Betamit round second. On his way to third. They're going to wave him in. And he will score with Aviles getting his second double in as many at-bats. So the Twins with a 4 spot to get within 1, but right away the Royals answered.
Well, a little trouble with the relay right there. Kadire kind of bobbled that ball, but Span gave it a ride. And as far as hustling and trying to get this ball, the ball just kept drifting away from him. Good effort. Now he's got to play the carom off the wall. He's got to go get it, and then gets it back in, and then throws it low to Kadire. And Eddie Rodriguez, a third base coach, had Betamit hustling, and he ended up scoring from first base.
Here's Matt Trainer taking down an in-ball 1.
So here's a guy, Mike Aviles, goes 0 for 18 and gets a big 2-run double in that 6-run 4th inning, and now gets another RBI double.
And both very sharply hit.
Yep.
And a strike that covers the inside corner. So Liriano's line complete. 5 innings and 7 earned runs. Hat foul. 1-2. Mentioned last night the Royals have just one left-handed relief pitcher, and he's a good one. The Twins have 3. Perkins, former Royal Dusty Hughes, that got the win last night, and Jose Majares.
And they're good ones too.
Very high, 2-2. Popped up behind second. Tolbert out. Makes the catch for the first out. And Matt Trainer acquired by the Royals because it became apparent Jason Kendall wasn't going to be ready to start the season. As you look at our Sanford Health injury report.
Yeah, Kendall, you know, he's really good with young kids, and that's why he came over to Kansas City. Young starting pitchers, and you know, he had that right shoulder surgery, and he's just recovering from it. They anticipate him maybe coming back hopefully around the All-Star break.
Lucas May wasn't the answer for them. They determined that. Acquired Trainer, and he's learning on the job. Here's Escobar taking ball 1. I thought game last year where Kendall caught Luke Hochevar and pretty much led him through a win over Minnesota. It was one of the best jobs of a veteran catcher working with a young pitcher I saw last year. Chopped to the right side and foul.
Well, what they got from by getting Trainer, they got an established catcher, someone that's 35 years old, that spent a lot of years in the minor leagues before he came up with the Marlins in 2004. You know, Ned Yost was that type of journeyman catcher. Trainer's caught for the Marlins, the Tigers, the Rangers, and now here in Kansas City.
Down and in, it's 2-1. Chopped to the right side. Kadire to Morneau for out number 2. And Aviles moves up a base. And that'll bring up Chris Getz. You can take the Twins with you wherever you go this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv and see every Twins game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit twinsbaseball.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. In-market blackout rules apply. And there is strike 1 to Chris Getz.
Yeah, good breaking ball, good location right there for strike 1. Gets an RBI single in that 6-run inning for the Royals.
2 strikes. Well, so far Perkins has done a nice job here. He gave up the double to Aviles, but what the Twins were interested after the leadoff walk, make sure that nothing mushrooms like it did in the 4th inning. And so far the Royals have just gotten the 1 run here in the 6th. And another one off the handle of the bat.
Well, what Perkins brings to the bullpen is a guy that was a starter at the minor league level that came up to the big leagues with the Twins, getting an opportunity to get some starts in. But now he's kind of a long man out on that bullpen. As a left-handed pitcher, Alex Burnett probably the long man as a right-handed pitcher. He and Jeff Manship, guys that can give you, we say long man, give you 2 or 3 innings.
2 strikes to get, battling the lefty Perkins. And a drive to center, playable for Span. The leadoff walk scores. The Royals add a run and now lead by 2. High-speed internet.
Well, Kyle Davies, both starters are out of the ball game. Davies clocked as high as 95. Francisco Liriano at 94.
And both starters are gone. Liriano taken out of the top of the 6th. And now to start the bottom of the 6th, the Royals go into their bullpen. She's not very happy that the Royals are leading by 2. Or that she visited us up here in the booth.
Yeah, that's Melissa and her 2 children right there. Chance to get circled.
Kanakoa Teixeira coming into the ball game for the 5th time.
Yeah, Teixeira in his 2nd season with the Kansas City Royals, a guy that's not overpowering. He's got a good sinking fastball, slider, and a changeup.
Drew Butera will lead off the 6th for the Twins, down a couple of runs here at 7-5. Ball 1. Butera, Span, and Tolbert hitting for the Twins here in the 6th. There's a high drive to left center field. Chased by Cabrera, but on the edge of the track has room to make the catch, 1 away. Butera gives it a pretty long ride, but it's caught for the 1st out. And we'll go back to our AT&T trivia question. I believe the names are Cone, Saberhagen, and Greinke, but I don't know for sure. Yep.
Yeah, Saberhagen won 2 of them for the Kansas City Royals. They had some good pitchers. Dennis Leonard, I think of Steve Busby, Mark Gubazov.
Our good friend Paul Splittorff might be watching today.
Right.
1-0 to Denard Span. Span with a pair of hits and a pair of runs scored. It was his single with 1 out in the 5th That started a sequence of 5 straight hits and 4 runs for the Twins to get back in the game. 2-0. You know, and the sense you get from a distance is that the Royals have bottomed out and very quickly are climbing up into contender status. And Ned Yost, who took over last year after Trey Hillman started the year, Span takes a strike. He's going to have some young players come up through the minor league system that are among baseball's elite prospects.
And that's what one thing general manager, when he took over Dayton Moore in Kansas City, realized, you know, in this division you had Chicago, Detroit, Minnesota. They have to build for 2012, 2013.
2-2 to Span.
You know, again, offensively, the Royals led all the American League last year, hitting at .274 as a club. They scored a lot of runs, but they knew that they had to improve their pitching, especially the starters. So there's some new names in that starting rotation. The bullpen, a lot of good young arms. We saw 2 of them last night, in Collins and Crow.
Collins warming up as we speak. 2-2 to Span. Royals haven't been to postseason play since they won it all in 1985. Two and two to Denard Span. His 3rd hit of the day. All singles, all of them to left field. And that'll get Tolbert to the plate.
A good piece of hitting right there by Span. You know, he's so quick with his wrists. He lets that ball get deep into the strike zone. And then right at the last second, good contact. Let him keep those hands back. Good piece of hitting right there by Span.
Here's Tolbert, driven a couple of hits to the opposite field. Span dives back.
Roy Smalley, good to see Denard Span. And I mentioned, you know, he lets that ball get deep into the strike zone. What does that mean?
Well, getting deep in the strike zone means you watch it a long time, let it get back over the plate and hit the ball, hit back through the ball to the middle and the opposite field. I think that's really encouraging to see Denard have that approach as much and as well as he has this early season. He got a little pull of conscience last year at times, but especially against a sinker ball pitcher. The ball's going to be going down and away from you, and if you don't try to hit the ball to left field, you're going to roll over the top of it. It's just going to be a ground ball to second or first base. That's exactly the way you need to hit this. A guy like this is wait a long time, let the sink happen, and then slap it to left field. That's good hitting.
1-0 to Tolbert. And now 1-1.
Well, Tolbert getting a chance to play. He came into this ball game just 1 for 5, so not a lot of at bats, but he's picked up a couple hits here so far this afternoon.
Giving Alexi KCA a break. KCA has been the regular shortstop for the Twins. 1-1 to Tolbert. And caught, dropped on a line. They'll get the force at second, and Tolbert will reach in a fielder's choice. Getz might have been peeking up at the runner as the ball approached his glove. It's out number 2, and here comes Ned Yost. And with Collins warming up, and not just Kubel, but Morneau behind him, a couple of lefties due up. Looks like the Royals are going to make the move here and bring the lefty in the 6th inning. This week, Bill Shirk and Laura Shara show you how to catch a 10-pound walleye. Watch Due North Outdoors tomorrow at 9 p.m. only on Fox Sports North. And check out Bill's blog at foxsportsnorth.com by clicking Outdoors under the More tab. Twins got their first look at Tim Collins last night and came away pretty impressed. At 5'7", he throws the ball in the mid-90s, and at least last night threw it with command.
It reminds me a little bit of, Billy Wagner, not a big man, but, a guy that could throw the ball extremely well. They have Collins at 5'7". A lot of people feel he's about 5'5", making his 6th appearance. Awkward type of delivery, but also reminds me a little bit of the mad Hungarian, Al Havrowski. His mannerisms on the mound.
Kubel, the first man he'll face. Down and away. Ball 1.
Collins in last night's ball game, 18 pitches, 12 for strikes. He came in the 8th inning. Ended up leaving the ball game in the 9th.
Faced Tomey, Span, Mauer, and Morneau. And Butler fields it right by the bag, steps on it to end the inning. On to the 7th. The Royals have a 2-run lead. You by fast, reliable, secure, heavy-duty internet from Qwest. Twins trying to come back from an early deficit. Actually, the Twins had a brief lead, 1-0. Then the Royals put a 6 spot up on the board in the 4th. Twins got back in the 5th with a 4-run inning. Royals added 1 in the 6th and now on to the 7th. And Glenn Perkins going after Melky Cabrera and delivering strike 1.
High fastball right there. Cabrera swinging through it. 1 for 3 so far in the ball game. Singled in that ugly, if you're a Twins fan, 4th inning.
It was the first hit of 6 straight hits. Very high. 1-2. It'll be Cabrera, Gordon, and Butler here in the Kansas City 7th. Two and two.
Alex Burnett getting loose in the Twins bullpen.
And now the count's full. Perkins was brought into the game in the 6th after Liriano walked the leadoff man. He doesn't want to do that here leading off the 7th. To right field. And playable for Kubel, 1 away. Fox Sports North, proud to be your exclusive home for Twins baseball, bringing you 150 games this year. Make sure you don't miss Friday's game against the Rays, game 2 of a 4-game series. You can log on to foxsportsnorth.com and check if your video provider will be carrying the game. If not, call your video provider. Let them know you don't want to miss any more games. One gone on the 7th. Here's Alex Gordon. Easy play for Morneau. And a quick second out. And that'll bring up Billy Butler. Twins on the verge of completing the first homestand, and after the first road trip, in essence, just about 2 weeks of play, and Morneau has been there for everything. One game as a designated hitter, but he's played every inning as much as a designated hitter can play the innings. And I think that is the main reason to be optimistic about where this Twins team can go. No one really knew entering the season. There's a little looper to left, and Tolbert ends the inning. A 1-2-3-7. Time now for the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Medica. On to foxsportsnorth.com. Get the latest from our special web contributor, Michael Kadire. This week, Michael gives his thoughts on the Twins organization, how a team-first mentality helps them overcome injuries at the major league level. Check out that story and other Twins coverage on foxsportsnorth.com. Justin Morneau will lead off the Twins' 7th. And a big swing and a miss.
I mentioned Collins worked in the 8th inning. He actually worked in the 9th inning in last night's ball game. He faced Justin in the 10th inning and struck him out, then was removed from the ball game. And that's when the Twins put their rally against Robinson Tejeda and ended up scoring the winning run.
1-2. Morneau, Young, and Thome here in the 7th.
Justin not real happy at the home plate umpire.
Fox Tracks brought to you by Carrier. And now Morneau and home plate umpire Ed Hickox exchanging some.
And here comes Ron Gardenhire to protect Justin.
Morneau was called out on strikes in the 3rd inning, and then hooked a double into the right field corner in his most recent at bat.
Take a look at the last pitch, the curveball. Fox Tracks shows it was down and away.
A high fastball gets
you're
it.
going to be swinging at everything.
Morneau strikes out, leading off the 7th. And that'll bring up Delman Young.
Collins going with a high fastball and Justin swinging underneath it.
Now you're forever talking about pitchers throwing on a downward plane. Can you still do that when you're 5'5"?
Yeah. You know what? He does a good job because, you know, that high leg kick that Collins has right there. And then look at that, straight over the top. That's that downward plane. Yeah, you can do that at 5'5", 5'7", whatever he is.
Just the plane isn't as steep.
Yeah.
Inside 1-2. Well, the Royals are very intrigued about this young man and what he might be able to give them. As we said last night, the Twins were wondering why the Royals would not be interested in retaining Dusty Hughes. The Twins picked him up, and the theory goes that Dusty Hughes was simply too tall. Lifted to short left. In fact, the shortstop, Escobar, with the catch, and Collins has gotten 2 outs here in the 7th.
Well, both these ball clubs able to put some big numbers on the board. In the 4th inning, it was the Kansas City Royals that put 6 on the board. And in the bottom of the 5th inning, it was the Twins able to put 4 runs on the board. Kansas City has that 7-5 lead.
So now Collins will go after Jim Thome. Thome faced Collins last night and got a single. Collins left the pitch up. Thome fouled it back. One and one. Thome pinch hit for KCA in the 9th with Danny Valencia at first base. Checked his swing, or did he? He did, and it's 2-1. Down the middle at the knees, and it's 2-2.
Well, here you got a guy that came up to the big leagues or signed in 1989, Jim Thome. That's the same year that Collins was born.
And he gets him with a high fastball.
That's no respect for your elders.
Pretty good inning for Collins. He struck out Borno and Thome swinging.
And this copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or transmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins. And happy birthday to you.
And they say that Collins has got wonderful perspective on his height and
or lack of it.
And he's looks like he's going to be a really good relief pitcher for the Royals. Alex Burnett comes out of the Minnesota bullpen.
Yeah, good job by Glenn Perkins. He just gave up that RBI double to Mike Aviles, then retired the next 6 batters. 2 shutout innings for Perkins. See if Alex Burnett can put a 0 on the board.
Burnett has faced 6 batters. 3 of them have reached without a base hit. He's walked 2 and hit 1. He delivers a strike to make the count 2-1.
Hey, Alex Burnett getting called up when Kevin Slowey was put on a disabled list on April 9th.
Two and 2. He'll face Francoeur, Betamit, and Aviles. Now a full count. Royals have only gotten their leadoff man on twice today, and in each case they scored that inning. A 6-run 4th, and then a single run in the 6th after Liriano's leadoff walk. Driven to right, and Kubel will play the first hop, and the Royals get their leadoff man on here in the 8th. If you're out and about this week, you can stop by one of the Twins Pro Shops in Apple Valley, Roseville, or Minnetonka. Or if you're downtown, right here at the Majestic Athletic Clubhouse. Get the latest gear, shirts, sweatshirts, caps, jackets. Great selections at 4 convenient locations. Here is Betamit. He drew that leadoff walk in the 6th. And he takes outside a ball.
Yeah, Betamit now hitting as a left-handed hitter. His first 3 at-bats against left-handed pitchers, hitting right-handed. Hitting .368 as a left-handed hitter coming into this plate appearance.
Runner goes, and Francoeur will have to return. Betamit with a foul at the plate.
They had a great jump right there, Francoeur. Royals want to run this year. 15 stolen bases on the year as a ball club. Good jump. Betamit fouls it off. Been caught only twice.
Lifted foul and out of play. 1-2.
There's Eddie Rodriguez, the third base coach, going through some signs. Francoeur at first base, 2 stolen bases in 2 attempts.
And the runner goes. Here's a drive to center. Span started in. Now going back. Makes the catch. Francoeur has to retouch. He'll get back to first base safely. Span turned one way, then the other, and finally found the ball for the catch. 1 away. Mike Aviles has really snapped out of a long hitting drought here today. Driving a 2-run double down the left field line in the 4th. And then slicing a double to the gap in right center in the 6th. Total of 3 runs batted in.
So he's already 2 for 2. He's not 0 for 18 coming into that, at bat a couple plate appearances ago. Now he's 2 for 2.
That's right.
That's the way you have to think. You let these little slumps you go through just drive you crazy.
Fouled into the seats. Aviles has also had some defensive issues at third base. There's former Royal Dusty Hughes, who got the win last night. Morneau will go to the bag, and that'll end that. A liner for Aviles. Turns into a double play, and it's a scoreless 8 for Kansas City.
I'm Robbie Mikowski. We're going to break down this game immediately following the final pitch on Quest Twins Live, featuring the Toyota post-game wrap. We'll talk about the fourth inning fall tonight. Royals get 6 of their 7 runs tonight in the top half of the fourth inning. They do that on 8 hits to Francisco Liriano, who started the game today for the Twins. Ground ball basics is our instructional today. We're going to take you through the basics of ground balls. Kevin Gore going to join that as well. And plus, Ron Gardenhire's post-game press conference. What do you think of that top half of the fourth inning? You will find out on Quest Twins Live immediately following last pitch. Dick Bramer.
Well, thank you, Robbie. And the Royals bring out young Jeremy Jeffress into the ball game in a 2-run ball game for Kansas City.
Yeah, the Milwaukee Brewers were really high on this young man right here. #1 pick by the Brewers back in 2006. He's had some problems. He's been on the minor league drug treatment and prevention program a couple times, suspended 100 games back in 2009. Got a great arm, and he came over to the Kansas City Royals in the Zach Greinke trade.
Pitched 10 innings for the Brewers last year, and as you saw, he can throw hard at 96 or 98. 1-1. Kadir, Valencia, and Butera due up. The Twins have a bench with Mauer, Casilla, Repko, and Hughes. This is such an important inning for any team, but particularly for the Royals, because they've got one of the best closers in the game in Joaquin Soria. The bridge to get there, so critical for any team. The bouncer to the right side. Getz has it. And Kadir retired, 1 away. If you don't have a Minnesota Twins Reward MasterCard, right now is the perfect time to sign up for one. Sign up and earn a huge signing bonus to earn points towards $25 reward certificates. To sign up today, call 800-33-TWINS.
Yeah, they say in Kansas City what they're trying to do is eliminate Joaquin Soria from having to pitch 2 innings. It ever seems like over the last 2-3 years, if they have a 2-run lead where they're at right now, it would be Soria that would be in the ball game to try to get a 2-inning save. So they're trying to look for that 8th, 7th, 8th inning guy, and they feel that they can do that with Collins and Crow, who worked last night, here today. It's Jeffress that's getting the opportunity.
Valencia 0 for 3, 3 outfield flies. The Twins have had a lopsided advantage over the Royals over several years now, and one of the reasons is just what we're talking about. The Twins were always pretty well positioned with the likes of Guerrero and Crane, Maharis, going back for several years to get to the closer. And the Royals have struggled in that category, and that's why guys like Jeffress and Collins are going to be very critical to their attempts to try to turn the franchise around. 2-1.
And you're maybe at home, you say, well, what's the big deal? That's Soria pitched 2 innings. But what that does is it eliminates maybe him from the next game,
right,
where if he only pitches 1, he'd be available again tomorrow.
3-1. Butera is on deck. If Valencia reaches, the Twins may go to their bench. 3-2. Boy, that's an impressive right arm. Seen several fastballs at 98 miles per hour.
Yeah, they said he's been clocked at 100 before. 6 foot tall, about 210, just 23 years old.
Full count to Danny Valencia. A soft one hopper to Getz. 2 down. And Butera will hit with 2 gone and the base is empty. And maybe Ron Gardenhire will be asked, hey, if Valencia had reached or if Kadire had reached, then might you have pinch hit Bauer?
Oh, what you have is Matt Tolbert coming up second. If Butera is not able to extend the inning, you have Tolbert's position to come in, and that's maybe where he wants Joe Mauer.
Against Soria probably in the 9th inning,
right,
if it doesn't, if the inning doesn't develop here.
Right.
99 miles per hour, but ball 1 to Butera. Ouch. And Butera retired 3 ground balls to the second baseman, Getz. And a quick 1-2-3, bottom of the 8th. Moment there, I thought that was Spinal Tap, but that was no guts, no glory.
Yeah, both these ball clubs had big innings. The Kansas City Royals put 6 on the board in the top of the 4th. The Twins came back with 4 in the bottom of the 5th. But the Royals hold on to a 2-run lead.
The Grand Casino story of the game, and now to the 9th inning. Ball 1 to Matt Trainer. Trainer, Escobar, and Getz facing Alex Burnett. Gave up some line drives, but faced just 3 men in the 8th inning. Big swing and a miss, 1-1. Trainer, Escobar, Getz. With the Royals up by 2, hoping to get a split in this little 2-game series. That's up the line foul. Both teams have played 10 games, and both of them have played a lot of close games. Now, it stands to reason the Royals had those 4 consecutive wins at home in their last at bat, but they played 6 games decided by 2 runs or less. The Twins in the last 8 games have had 7 1-run games and 1 2-run game. And they've split those 8 games. Fouled into the seats. Tomey hoping for a chance in the 9th inning. Joaquin Soria warming up. And Burnett takes care of Trainer, 1 away.
Alex Burnett picking up his first strikeout. Fastball.
Alcides Escobar will hit. And there's strike 1. And now 2 strikes.
Escobar, just 24 years old, from Venezuela. He came over in the Zach Greinke trade with the Milwaukee Brewers. Brewers were high on him. 145 games played in last year, but hit only 235.
And that's under the glove of Valencia, and a base hit for Escobar. He was the guy that made the Brewers confident enough to trade J.J. Hardy to the Twins for Carlos Gomez, because they felt Escobar was ready, and they pretty much gave him the job after trading J.J. Hardy, who was their shortstop, to Minnesota.
Going out and getting a breaking ball and lining it past the diving Valencia for his second hit of the ball game. Hits are even at 11 apiece.
And Burnett faces 5 men, gives up a couple of hits, but comes off the mound here with 1 gone in the 9th. Claimed on waivers by the Twins, and last night he got his first win for the Twins and made a good fielding play, doing more on defense. Brought to you by Home Depot.
Yeah, outstanding play, but you know what? The pitchers are the best athlete out there. You wouldn't expect anything less. Nice play right there by Jesse Hughes. They tried to get me to react at, in the demo last night, the instructional, and I was looking for Luke Hughes, not Dusty Hughes.
Oh, okay.
I was yelling, Hughes, get the ball. He made the play, got him out at first. Dusty Hughes, like you mentioned, got the win last night. He ended up throwing 12 pitches, 8 for strikes.
Strike one on the outside corner.
Remember last year when he pitched for the Royals, it seemed like he was in every game. Well, this is a second game between the Twins and the Royals. It's only fitting that he's in this ball game for the Twins now.
And 2 in a row right on the outside corner. Royals liked Hughes as a pitcher. They would have been interested in retaining him. They needed his roster spot once they signed Jeff Francis.
The Royals were able to go out and spend a little money to get a Jeff Francis or Jeff Francoeur because of what Gil Mesh did.
Yeah.
Gil Mesh walking away from a big contract.
Mesh was signed to a 5-year, $55 million deal. Left $12 million on the table when he retired.
A lot of class, that man.
There's a drive to center, and Span will play it on a hop. And back-to-back hits here with 1 out in the 9th inning.
Well, Getz gets his second hit of the ball game.
And that'll bring up Melky Cabrera. Cabrera reached on a Tolbert error in the first. Delivered the first of 6 consecutive hits against Liriano in the 4th. Blocked nicely by Butera. And Getz nearly advanced to second, with Escobar still 1 base ahead of him. 1-0.
Yeah, watch Butera right here. Nice block right there, utilizing his chest protector. And then Getz, the first base runner, thought about going. He gets back in safely.
Punch to short right, and that's going to die for a base hit. And the bases are loaded, and the Royals threatening to add to their 2-run lead here with 3 straight singles in the 9th.
Got a little bloop base hit, and Cabrera gets his second hit of the ball game. For the Royals, are 13th.
And Alex Gordon will hit with the bases loaded and 1 out. And Rick Anderson's going to come to the mound.
Well, it was Gordon last night at the plate when Dusty Hughes made that great play.
And Hughes, of course, still really good friends with a lot of the Royals players. Gordon and Billy Butler. And this is kind of a key spot. Twins have their work cut out for them in the 9th inning anyway, down by 2 runs against Soria. And now the Royals threatening to expand the lead with the bases full and 1 out.
That visit by Anderson kind of twofold, just to try to talk about how they're going to approach Alex Gordon, also giving Jeff Manship an opportunity to get some more throws in down in that bullpen. Billy Butler is in the on-deck circle.
Tap foul, 1 strike. Gordon with a single and 3 ground balls. On the day in the box score. Splintered bat and a fly ball to right. That ball trapped by Kubel. It's going to score at least 2. So a shattered bat. Gordon drives in 2 with a bloop double.
Yeah, Cabrera just kind of poked that ball in the short right field for a base hit, and here Gordon breaking his bat, and Kubel's kind of in no man's land right there. Do I play it on a hop or do I try to go get it? He decided to try to go get it. You see the bat breaking right there, right off the end of the bat. Kubel comes in. Take another look at the bat exploding.
Yeah, that was similar to how Morneau's bat earlier in the ball game split in half. Butler will be walked. Francoeur will be the next batter. So both teams have collected hits in bunches. 6 straight hits for the Royals to blow the game open. And then the Twins had 5 straight hits to nearly tie the game up in the 5th. And now again here in the 9th, 4 straight hits for a couple of insurance runs. And Ron Gardenhire is going to make the switch with the bases full. Five straight have reached. And Manship will pitch next. And a lot of runs, and they're looking for more. Jeff Manship comes out of the Twins bullpen.
Yeah, not the ideal situation. You want to come in with bases loaded and 1 out. Jeff Manship making his 4th appearance on the year. A couple of strikeouts, 3 walks for Manship in 2 1/3 innings pitched.
And Manship will go after Jeff Francoeur. Burnett got the first batter. Matt Traynor to strike out, then Escobar singled. And Dusty Hughes came in to face 4 men and didn't get any of them out. Francoeur has delivered a couple of singles, scored a run, driven in a run. And with the Royals getting 2 more runs, it's now a 4-run lead. There is no activity in the Kansas City bullpen. It's not a save situation anymore. So for the time being, they've shut down Joakim Soria. Twins hoping for a ground ball double play here.
But if Jeffress does come out, that would be a save opportunity for him, would it not?
Yes. If he comes and finishes the ball game, absolutely.
Right. Oh, Manship would like to get a ground ball right here. Francoeur already with a couple hits in a ball game.
Up high, and it's 2-0. Left field, Young now charging, making the catch. Here's the tag and the throw coming through, and it goes by Butera and past Manship, and the other runners will move up. So Morneau let the ball come through. And it skipped by Butera and the pitcher backing up at home plate. So there'll be an error charged, unfortunately, to Delman Young, I would imagine. It wasn't, that ball's got to be cut off or caught.
Yeah, and as a pitcher, you're taught to back up the play, but it's hard with that, backing that they have here, that the limestone, the ball caromed away and allowed both runners to advance.
So a sacrifice fly for Francoeur. It's a 3-run inning, a 5-run lead. Now they have not, at least on the scoreboard, charged an error on the throw to the plate. Now they have. Okay. Yes. And again, that's an unfortunate error for Delman Young because it wasn't an accurate throw, but still that ball's got to be cut off or at least caught by the catcher. 2 strikes and now a ball. That's nicely picked up by Morneau to end the inning. But the Royals add 3 more in the top of the 9th inning and lead it 10-5. Lead because Jeffress, as you pointed out, had the tying run in the on-deck circle when he pitched in the 8th inning. This is a save situation for him.
Yeah, you mentioned Jeffress last year came up with the Brewers, appeared in 10 ball games, 1-0, 2.70 ERA, looking for his first major league save if he's able to hold on. Retired the Twins in order in the bottom of the 8th inning on 3 ground ball outs.
Span, Tolbert, and Kubel will hit.
Span good at day at the plate, 3 for 4, 3 singles, scored a couple runs.
And strike 1. We talked about some players that have been traded back and forth between these two teams, or the Zach Greinke trade. Greinke's yet to throw a pitch for the Brewers. He cracked a rib playing basketball. And now the Orioles put J.J. Hardy on the disabled list yesterday with an oblique pull. 1-1 to Span. A 4-hit day for Denard Span and a leadoff single here in the ninth.
That was Michael Kadire that had 4 hits in yesterday's ball game. And now Denard Span with his 4th hit.
So a bounding ball up the middle for a leadoff hit in the Minnesota ninth. Here's Matt Tolbert. A couple of hits for Tolbert on the day, both of them to left field. Ball 1. Of other games underway. Texas and Detroit 2-2 in the 8th. Chicago 3-1 over Oakland in the 6th inning. I don't know how significant this is for the Twins this weekend. But Tampa Bay and Boston were postponed. That may set Tampa Bay's rotation back a day, and the Twins might not have to face David Price in the series finale on Sunday. Down and in, and it's 2-1. James Shields was supposed to go today for Tampa Bay. Belt high strike to even the count.
At 98 miles an hour. Oh man, he's not real big, 6 foot tall, about 210. Boy, that arm really whips through. Look at that. 98.
2-2 to Tolbert. Wide of the plate to fill the count.
Soria starting to loosen up again.
That's to the left field corner, chased by Gordon. And in foul ground, makes the catch, 1 away. And the Twins need a sequence of hits to create another save situation here, but that's kind of been the theme of the day for both teams. See what Kubel can do here. A couple of hits for the Twins right fielder. Kubel singled in the first, singled and scored in the 5th. .97-mile-per-hour fastball for strike 1. One and one.
You look at a young kid like Jeffress and you wonder, can he get that secondary pitch over? That was a curveball that missed. High fastball.
2-1.
That's what, to me, would make or break this young kid right here. He needs to get another pitch over. Yeah, you can throw up in the upper 90s, but believe me, you're at the major league level, and these guys will make the adjustment if you cannot get a breaking ball over.
It's lifted foul ground down the left field line. A long run for Aviles. Oh, what a catch! What a catch by Mike Aviles! A full sprint to the warning track in foul territory.
Yeah, he went a long way for this ball, kept his eye on the ball, and made a great catch in foul territory. See where he's playing right here. He's got to hustle back. And a full sprint. Makes a great catch.
So 2 down, and here's Justin Morneau. 1 for 8 in the series, an RBI double in the 5th. Span goes. Royals don't care. Strike 1. Defensive indifference will be ruled. They neither held him on at first nor covered second base for a throw. 1 strike. One and one.
Well, there's a breaking ball right there, left up, and Justin just got underneath it, fouled it straight back.
That's kind of where he's at, though, isn't it? I mean, we've seen him with some fastballs down the middle and a lot of fouls straight back.
Well, he's not missing by much.
One and two to Justin Morneau. And the Royals split the series, and the Twins have played 4 series and won 1 and only 1 game in all 4. So the first homestand ends up a losing homestand for the Minnesota Twins. Anthony?
And we'll put a wrap on the homestand next. We'll also preview the 8-game road trip that starts tomorrow night in Tampa. We'll look at how the game got away from Francisco Liriano and teach Kevin Gorg how to field a ground ball next on Quest Twins Live.